Good evening and welcome to Friday night's calendar.
Yes, hello, good evening. Here are tonight's main stories.
It's the end of an era at Sheffield Wednesday as its owner is unseated. Dejphon Chansiri's name is stripped from the stands at Hillsborough as the club files for administration.
There's been shock and relief from fans groups tonight as supporters who stayed away in recent weeks are being urged to pack these stands for tomorrow's game.
I'll have what it means going forward for Sheffield Wednesday, including how any prospective buyer can purchase the club.
Also tonight, an inquest hears details about the killing of convicted paedophile and former Lost Prophets frontman Ian Watkins inside Wakefield Prison. Plus,
I do recognise that after many years of underfunding, the challenges still remain.
The Chancellor on funding for our region's hospices after Ashgate in Chesterfield announced bed closures and staff cuts.
I love what Aaron's doing here.
sharing is caring. Timmy Mallet on why talking about your troubles is utterly brilliant for your mental health.
And getting outside in the fresh air certainly helps with the feel-good factor too. It's felt quite mild so far this October. It's all changed for the weekend. All the detail a little later on.
First tonight, the long-running financial troubles at Sheffield Wednesday came to a dramatic head today as the club was placed into administration and deducted 12 points and remain rock bottom of the championship.
After one of the most turbulent periods in the club's history, the money owed to creditors and the taxman chasing debts, Wednesday's controversial owner has gone.
Fans have made their feelings known by boycotting games and protesting against Dejphon Chansiri's running of the club.
In a moment, we'll be live at Hillsborough, where the change in ownership is already being seen in the stands. But first, Arif Ahmed reports on a dramatic day for the Owls.
The end of an era. Seats have been ripped out of the North Stand at Hillsborough this afternoon, bearing the name of owner Dejphon Chansiri. At 10:01 this morning, Sheffield Wednesday filed for administration. With the threat of a winding-up order from HMRC over unpaid tax bills, Mr Chansiri walked away from the club.
It's a sad situation that a club with our history, this amazing club, has to go into administration, and it's also the beginning of a new area, that we can get a fresh restart again, and we can start to look into the future and to create something positive again.
Have you heard from Mr Chansiri today?
No.
After months of financial mismanagement that's seen wages paid late in 5 of the last 6 months, fans have voiced their anger towards the owner.
Get out of our club!
From carrying a coffin through Hillsborough Park, to pitch invasions, to a full boycott.
A curious atmosphere at this great footballing theatre.
Now supporters have got their wish, and they're urging fans to return to Hillsborough in their numbers.
Let's take that community action and solidarity that saw us work together to defund Dejphon Chansiri. But now we need to take that optimism and togetherness together to make sure Sheffield Wednesday survives through administration. And that means every penny that was saved now needs to be a penny spent.
Finances are the big problem for the administrators. The club has a long list of debts to pay, and they'll have to make tough choices on who gets their money.
The administrators have to do is look at all the things that the club owns, look at all the things that the club owes, and in priority order deal with those creditors. But sometimes, yeah, you're absolutely right. The reality of that is that some of those creditors don't get all their money back. They get part of that money back. So it is likely, again, that we see some people lose out here. And some of those might be local businesses, some of those might be fans themselves. So that is the real downside to administration from a financial perspective, for sure.
Paul Shepherd has been supporting Wednesday for over 60 years. He's seen plenty of highs and plenty of lows, but he believes a new owner is around the corner.
My honest opinion is, we know there are suitors out there that's capable of buying Sheffield Wednesday, that's got the resources to buy Wednesday. In my honest opinion, I don't think we'll be too long before we have a new owner. We're a proud football club, and we're steeped in history. There are people out there wanting to buy us. I don't think it'll be too long before we're in the hands of the new owners.
A new era is dawning for Sheffield Wednesday, but the footprint left by Deshfon Chansiri still lingers for now.
Well, let's head live to Sheffield now and join Katie Oscroft, who's pitch side at Hillsborough. And Katie, these dramatic developments behind the scenes are already being reflected in the stands.
Amelia, yes, the speed at which the name Chansiri is being removed seat by seat from this stand is perhaps a reflection of the strength of feeling against an owner who sold assets, who failed to pay wages, who failed to pay taxes, and the fans had wanted him out for some time. Now, I'm joined by someone who's been very close to the drama which has unfolded here at Sheffield Wednesday, lifelong Sheffield Wednesday fan, Sheffield East MP Clive Betts. Even with the club in the state it's in, is today a good day?
Yes, it is, because I think yesterday we could see no hope. We had an owner who didn't care, wasn't bothered, had run the club down, nearly run it into the ground. Today we've got rid of that owner and we can look forward to new owners coming in and a better future. And the fans, amazingly, they've done a fantastic job of boycotting events and boycotting spending at the club to help force Chansiri out. Now they're coming back. I want them to come back tomorrow. I understand tonight the club shops had to stay open late because there are thousands of people wanting to buy shirts, wanting to buy tickets. That's a change of attitude, a change of atmosphere, and that's really good going forward.
Absolutely, and that's a sign of the optimism here. Yeah. But is that also a sign of how important this club is to this city?
Oh, absolutely. I came with my father, he came with his father. There are generations of people supported Wednesday, and young children coming today who will never have seen Wednesday do anything particular and never been the force that I remember to be in the past. So yes, it's built into the community, it's built into families and generations. It's what people talk about when they go out at night, it's what they talk about at work, it's what they talk about in their families. It's so important for the future of the city and for families who have given lifetime support for Wednesday to see hope and optimism come back.
Now, what can you tell us? Are the buyers circling?
Yes, there are. The reason they're circling, of course, is not the money that Chansiri put in, because the training pitch is in a mess. The ground needs money spending on it. The club has been run down in terms of players being sold. But the fan base is there, and people coming forward can see that fan base is there. If only they get a really successful club, then the fans will come streaming back, and that's what people will buy into.
Clive Betts, thank you. And I know you'll be here over there on Saturday for tomorrow's game, along with a lot of other people. So, yeah, as we say, tomorrow, a bit of normality, a football match.
Katie Oscroft, live for us at Hillsborough. Thank you.
Well, Sheffield Wednesday was first formed in 1867, and it's, nearly 160 years of footballing history. Arif is with us in the studio now. Is there a chance, Arif, that the club's going to fold?
No, I don't think so, Ian. This is very much short-term pain for long-term survival. Now, Sheffield Wednesday owe a lot of money to a lot of people. That's why local administrators, Begbie Trailer, have been brought in. Now, they're going to run the day-to-day of the club. Deshfon Chansiri now has nothing to do with Sheffield Wednesday. The administrators will look at the account, see what's in the pot, which I understand is not very much, and see what they owe, which is north of £1 million. Now, I understand there was a meeting today with players, coaching staff, non-coaching staff, with the administrators. That was positive. They were told there was no job losses imminent, but that is not a guarantee at the minute.
So, Arif, how exactly will this sale process work?
Well, the administrators will now invite prospective buyers to make an offer. When Deshfon Chansiri said away back in June that he would sell the club, we understand he was looking for north of £100 million. But I understand the administrators will take as little as £13 million. A big difference there. But a lot of people will want to buy Sheffield Wednesday. They'll be looking to invest in Sheffield Wednesday, and they'll see with that offer that might be too good to turn down.
And I've been looking at the Calendar Facebook page this afternoon, actually, looking at comments from right around the country, from fans from other football clubs, sympathising with Sheffield Wednesday fans about all of this.
Yeah, it's great to see, isn't it? It's because there is that big rivalry in football, but no one wants to see a club go out of business. You know, when they play each other, they might hate each other, but there's that solidarity when they see other teams struggling, like they have seen with Sheffield Wednesday. I remember covering the first game at Leicester when they boycotted the first 5 minutes, and when they came in, they got a big round of applause from the Leicester fans. It just shows that feeling across football that a bad owner is not loved anywhere in football. But now Mr. Chansiri is gone, and hopefully better times are coming for Sheffield Wednesday.
OK, Arif, thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
And you can, of course, see much more about today's dramatic developments at Hillsborough over on our website. It's all at the usual address, itv.com/calendar, or find us on Facebook, where you can also have your say.
In other news tonight, the inquest into the death of the paedophile singer Ian Watkins has heard he died from a stab wound to the neck.
The 48-year-old, who was the frontman of the band Lost Prophets, died after an alleged attack at HMP Wakefield, where he was serving a 29-year sentence for child sex offences. Vicky Smith reports.
Well, it's nearly 2 weeks since paramedics were called here to HMP Wakefield to report that Watkins had been stabbed. Today, an inquest into his death was opened and adjourned. It was a brief hearing, and the coroner said that the post-mortem report gave an incision to the neck as the cause of death. The hearing also heard that Watkins was pronounced dead by an attending doctor on the 11th of October and was formally identified by a prison officer. Watkins had been jailed in 2013 for a string of child sex offences. He had been arrested after police searched his home in Pontypridd in Wales and found a large number of computers and mobile phones, which uncovered his depraved behaviour. After his death earlier this month, 2 inmates were charged with murder. That's 25-year-old Rashid Goodell and 43-year-old Samuel Dodsworth. This week, police arrested 2 more men on suspicion of conspiracy to murder. The men, aged 23 and 39, were bailed and returned to prison as inquiries continue. Goodell and Dodsworth appeared last week in court charged with murder but did not enter any pleas. Dodsworth appeared via video link from HMP Wakefield and Goodell refused to attend as he wanted to appear in person. A provisional trial date has been set for the 5th of May and that's expected to last 2 to 3 weeks. Vicky Smith, ITV News, HMP Wakefield.
The long-running strike at the National Coal Mining Museum in Wakefield has been extended into next year. More than 40 staff members have been on strike since mid-August in a dispute over pay. Last week, the union rejected the museum's latest offer that would leave some workers worse off. The museum says it has offered a settlement, giving craftspeople the uplift demanded by the union.
You're watching Friday Night's Calendar. Thanks for being with us. Still to come before 6:30. Could you be one of the hundreds of thousands of drivers unknowingly breaking the law?
And it might still be October. Definitely some sunshine in the mix this weekend, but the temperatures are on the slide. We're going to need the winter woolies. All the detail a little later on.
The Chancellor has told Calendar she recognises the challenges facing the hospice sector and that the government has increased hospice budgets.
It comes after we reported on how funding shortages have forced Ashgate Hospice in Chesterfield to close beds and make more than 50 staff redundant.
Well, Fred Dimbleby, our political correspondent, joins us live from Westminster this evening. Good evening, Fred. What did Rachel Reeves have to say?
Yes, good evening from Westminster. Well, let's remember Rachel Reeves is a Leeds MP and she was in the city today talking about regional growth. But after that reporting about Ashgate Hospice, which is facing up to 50 redundancies, bed closures because of what they claim is a shortage of NHS funding, we wanted to ask her more widely about funding in the sector. Now, as you may have come to expect by this point, she did talk about what she described as previous governments' underfunding. She said that this government has put more money into the NHS and was increasing hospice budgets. Let's have a listen.
And we also, in December last year, increased the budgets for hospices, recognising the important role that they have in our local communities. So I do recognise that after many years of underfunding, the challenges still remain.
Well, those hospice bosses, many of whom are in a pretty rough place in terms of their finances, will be wanting more money, and that is just one sector wanting more money from Rachel Reeves as she prepares next month's budget. She may have tried to hide it in that interview, but she is a politician under a lot of pressure, desperate to give the public some good news, but knowing that money is so tight right now that there are many difficult choices ahead for her.
OK, Fred, thank you very much indeed. Live for us from Westminster this evening. Thank you.
Next tonight, news that Reform UK-controlled Nottinghamshire County Council is planning to spend £75,000 of taxpayers' money putting up Union flags across the county. It comes after thousands of England and Union flags were put up by the public during the summer. More than 160 Union flags will be displayed in 82 locations in Newark, Ashfield, Mansfield and Bassetlaw. Opposition party leaders say the money would be better spent on vital council services, but Reform UK Council leader Mick Barton says they'll strengthen community spirit and cohesion.
I'd say it brings communities together. If you look at our King, what he says about the Union flag, it is about communities and it's about cohesion. And these Union flags won't be up all the time, like I've just said. We'll have other flags going up and other celebrations. This is just the first one.
There will be people who will say that this is not so much about celebrating things like that. It's culture wars.
No, it's not. Definitely not. No, it's not.
Well, meanwhile, as part of a series of party leader interviews we've been running here on Calendar, Zach Polanski, the leader of the Green Party, has told this programme that politicians have an important part to play in this debate.
There are a group of people who are waving those flags, who are the same group of people who are outside asylum hotels, who are protesting and saying some pretty unsavoury and indeed racist things about people who are coming to this country, sometimes fleeing their lives from war and persecution. And then I think to wave the flag because it's intimidatory is racist. And this is the thing about flags. They are symbols and they mean different things to different people. I think the role of politicians in this is to show leadership, to remain calm and to ultimately bring communities together.
I wonder what you think about that story. I'm sure you will let us know. Now, the ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Geraint Vincent.
Coming up, the asylum seeker found guilty of murder. Rhiannon White worked at the hotel where her killer was being housed. Deng Marjek had arrived in a small boat just months earlier. Plaid Cymru win the Caerphilly by-election, humbling Labour, who lost there for the first time in 100 years. And John Bon Jovi on getting back out on tour after vocal surgery. Join me for those stories and more at 6:30.
Thanks very much, Geraint. Now, could you be one of the hundreds of thousands of drivers unknowingly breaking the law?
Yes, it's an interesting question because 2.3 million photocard licences are due to expire this year, and it seems many motorists are unawares theirs could be out of date and they could get a fine. Chloe Oliver reports.
More than 300,000 driving licences expired last year and still haven't been renewed, leaving those drivers vulnerable to fines, points on their licence and potential prosecution. We asked drivers in Leeds city centre if they knew when their licence was due to expire.
It's been quite a while, but I believe mine actually does run out soon.
I haven't checked in a while, to be honest. I don't really ever check it. I only get it out just to use it for ID. That's it, to be honest.
2 weeks ago, it just expired, so I'm waiting for a new one, just for us to get a new.
If your driving licence expires, you could face a £1,000 fine and invalidate your car insurance. You can check the expiry date on your licence and renew it online for £14 or by post for £17. If you're over 70, it's free. If you apply online, your new card should arrive within a week, but it can take up to 3 weeks by post. Co-op Insurance has found over 2 million licences will expire in 2025 and says there can be many reasons why drivers don't renew in time.
Some drivers may have reached an age where they don't want to or can't drive anymore. There are some drivers who, through illness, maybe can't drive anymore. But there'll be a significant number of people who maybe have just forgotten or, missed any reminders that have been sent.
In a statement, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency said, drivers under 70 must renew their car and motorcycle licences every 10 years to ensure their photograph remains a true likeness. We contact each driver directly when their renewal is due, which is why it's vital they keep their address up to date to avoid missing this important reminder. With hundreds of thousands of licences expiring every year, it's a blind spot for many drivers. That, if ignored, can prove costly. Chloe Oliver, ITV News.
And I've just checked, Amelia, 2033 for mine.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
It took me a while to pass my test, so I didn't pass till 2020, so I think I've got a few years left.
You're just far too young. Sickening.
Next, a charity ball is to be held in memory of rugby league player Danny Jones a decade after he died on the pitch. The 29-year-old died from a cardiac arrest triggered by an hereditary heart disease while playing for the Keighley Cougars in 2015. Since his death, his wife campaigned for mandatory heart screening for all players in the sport and set up a charity in his name. Money from the event at Leeds Rhinos Stadium tomorrow night will go towards heart screening sessions and defibrillators for grassroots clubs.
I wanted it to be a massive celebration of what the charity is and the legacy that I've created in Danny's memory. And it's just saved so many lives. And I can't quite believe the impact, really. I said at the beginning, if I could save one person from going through what we did as a family, I'd feel like I'd done what I needed to do, but it's countless.
Yeah, well done to Lizzie. Now then, time for sport, and Leeds United are in Premier League action this evening.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Yes, it's very early in the season, so we haven't reached the must-win stage for Leeds United, but tonight it's must not lose. The Whites, who sit 16th in the Premier League table, welcome West Ham United to Ellen Road. A win would give them some much-needed breathing space from the relegation zone. Manager Daniel Farke, though, isn't panicking yet.
Each of the game has pressure, and so far we've always spoken about a huge game. Everton, first game day, Wolves, Burnley, right now, huge game. So each of the game is huge. So for that we are quite focused, quite relaxed, but we're looking forward to have this game because this is why we have worked our socks off in the last 24 months.
Sheffield United are also in action this evening as they travel to, over the Pennines, in fact, to Preston. Having picked up 2 wins already, the Blades are looking to round off their week with a 3rd win in a row. And United have found some form since the international break and are looking to push up the championship table. Right, time for the weather. Kerry is here. The weekend is upon us.
Hey, it's just round the corner now, isn't it?
I can taste it.
You can taste it.
And a bit of sunshine today.
We got a bit of sunshine. Yeah. It's been quite windy and it's already noticeably colder, and we have got a little system coming through tonight. So what do they say? Bracing at the coast over the next few days and nights. But yes, certainly in Lown, we've seen a bit of cloud. There've been a few showers, but we've had some lovely spells of sunshine. Absolutely brilliant shot by Stuart here of Rivlin in Sheffield. Loving the autumn colours coming through. Reservoirs looking a little healthier now. This is Wirral and Uterbridge, again on the Sheffield border. A big thank you to Andy looking out towards Bradfield. Please keep them coming. Weather photos at itv.com. So yes, it felt a little bit colder today, and we are in, basically speaking, an Arctic air mass from the north, but it's just a 24-hour window. But these are our highs as we head into the weekend. 10. We'd expect around 14. That's our high, so it means that many places will be a degree or 2 lower than that. So single figures by day, we're really going to notice that. And it's been really mild this October so far as well. So as we head into the weekend, that's the bad news, I guess. The good news is the clocks go back 1 hour, 2 a.m. until 1 a.m. officially on Sunday morning. So that means the sun times are different. We get lighter mornings. They've been really dark, noticeably so the last few weeks because we've had quite a lot of cloud around. So rising around 10 to 7 and setting around 4:45 in the evening. So making a bit of a difference, I think, particularly where we see any sunshine as we head into the weekend.
Not great though, is it? If you work during the night and you suddenly have to do another extra hour's work.
I know. Well, it's the other way round, isn't it? When spring falls forward, you lose that hour. So we're just gonna grab that hour, aren't we?
Yeah.
I know, dark nights though for when we leave work. That's not nice, is
it's awful. We're not quite there yet. Good news is December the 21st. That's the shortest day, so we're not actually that far from that, are we?
No, we're not actually. That's true.
Thanks, Kerry. And finally, he was a regular on our TV screens in the 1980s and 90s, well known for his colourful outfits and giant mallet. Now, Timmy Mallet is backing a campaign encouraging men to talk about their mental health.
And working with a charity that puts benches in sheds, he's hoping it'll let men open up about things troubling them. Kevin Ashford has been to meet him.
Building a buddy bench, a place where a casual conversation and perhaps a friendship can begin. Research shows that men in particular struggle to engage with others, especially as they get older. And this bench building campaign, run by the Men's Sheds Association, has the backing of the veteran TV personality Timmy Mallett.
I love what Aaron's doing here. He's making lunch.
Timmy says he's a great believer in the power of practical pastimes having a positive impact on mental health.
If you find yourself on your own through bereavement or other reasons, you know, it's not uncommon for older blokes to reach for a glass. Well, rather than doing that, a better idea is to go off and make some friends and make some noise, making things.
The body bench idea has the backing of the Allerton's Men's Shed in Bradford as a way of getting men to open up.
Women tend to talk to each other face to face like this. Men talk to each other shoulder to shoulder. You know, so it's when they're working together next to each other they start talking to each other. You know, and things come out.
It's nice to get out of the house. We come here for a break and to talk to the lads who are in the 70s, 80s group.
Men tend not to talk to each other and they need somewhere to go, and a purpose is the key thing, having a reason to go somewhere and do something. The chat is an aside. You come to actually do something useful. If you have a chat with somebody, well, so be it.
I know about these because it's old teak, isn't it?
Timmy Mallett says it's the starting of a conversation that's the key to connecting with people, perhaps by finding some common ground or simply spotting something to talk about, like the inflatable mallet that first became part of Timmy's TV persona 4 decades ago.
I remember the producer at the time saying, "Are you happy having this, Timmy, because you'll have it forever?" And I said, "Oh no, you know, it'll last a couple of months." Well, here we are 40 years later and I've still got the mallet, and this is what it feels like, Kevin. Are you happy now?
My life is complete, Timmy. I made a new friend as well.
Utterly brilliant.
Utterly brilliant. And do you know, Timmy's just turned 70.
No, he hasn't.
He's just had his birthday recently, yes.
Oh, wow, and he's still doing brilliant work, isn't he?
He is, and he doesn't look any older, doesn't look any different,
Not at
really,
all.
does he?
Right, let's get the weather with Kerry.
Today's forecast: seafood and sugar cube towns. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Yes, some decent sunny spells around today, and they will continue at least into the first half of the weekend. Always feeling a little bit better in the sunny spells, but yes, the wind's strong and the air mass is cold, so really feeling on the chilly side as we head into Saturday. So beware of those gusty winds, especially out towards the coast. Feeling cold for all, really noticeable compared to what we've been used to for this month so far. And yes, changeable skies. I do think there'll be an area of rain nudging its way in from the northwest for the second half of Sunday. But as we head into this evening and overnight tonight, we look to the north for this area of rain and cloud accompanied by strong winds, and it's all going to sink its way southwards. Quite punchy, those showery outbreaks as we head towards midnight and into the early hours, and those winds could be strong and gusty, maybe even reaching gale force directly at the coast for a time, but elsewhere tending to ease a little bit as we head towards dawn. But with the strong winds and the cloud cover and the showers, nothing too chilly, but certainly single figures for us all as we head towards dawn. Under any clearer skies, first thing tomorrow morning, it will be quite chilly, but we are expecting it to improve across all parts for the first few hours of the day, and then it's dry, bright and blustery, and definitely feeling colder than the temperatures on the map. So on the thermometer, maybe 9 or 10, but in that wind, that northwesterly wind, feeling more like 4 or 5 Celsius. Most of the showers staying out into the North Sea, perhaps 1 or 2 just clipping the coastline at times. Into the second half of the weekend, we look to the northwest. Chilly start, maybe a touch of frost, clouding up from lunchtime. Outbreaks of rain for the afternoon and evening.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
There you go. I'm here for the sunny spells and the cold temperatures,
and
not so much the wind.
An extra hour in bed.
Will you make the most of it, Amelia? You enjoy it.
I will, and you too, Ian.
Excellent. Thank you very much. I will. Have a great weekend from all of us here. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye.